It is August 17th, 2021. This is the Wrestling Inc. podcast, NXT on USA, the last live NXT for a while. I'm Glenn Rubenstein, joined by Alfred Konuwa and NYC Demon Diva Issa, here tonight to break it all down. When we speak again, you will both be back from Las Vegas, or in Las Vegas.
In Las Vegas, right.
There you go.
Well, that'll be Sunday for the Takeover show.
Yes.
So it'll still be, I might be just getting back, but we'll see.
This was the go-home show for NXT, and for you, you are leaving home for our next show. Funny how that works. Tonight's show was there. There were some enjoyable segments, some enjoyable moments. I don't like when they devote so much of it to a recap.
Yeah.
Right.
Also, I'm just going to toss this out now before I forget it. Walter in a tracksuit looks menacing. Walter in leisure wear, not so much.
No, he is a tracksuit kind of guy.
Does he look as menacing as Robert Stone did in that tracksuit?
See, I think a tracksuit works for anyone, but I'm just saying Walter in like the athletic pants and a t-shirt, he looks like, he was just binging Stranger Things, got off the couch and came to the ring.
He did kind of look like a dad in the tracksuit.
Yeah, tonight he looked a little less cool as a champion. I don't know. Anyhow, we got a bunch of news to dive into before we talk about NXT. Alfred, what's the latest? What's going on?
Well, are you guys ready for Raw on the Roof? Because WWE is reportedly considering something of an off-site event for next year, inspired by what I thought was a fantastic game between my Yankees and the White Sox at the Field of Dreams. These were MLB's biggest ratings since 2005, when the Yankees should have won that game. Had a couple of chances late, but it's okay. They've been doing very well since the trade deadline. But because of that game, Field of Dreams on location, kind of like a destination game, WWE's now got their minds working, and they are considering, among other things, Raw on the Roof, according to Wrestle Votes. What do you guys think about the potential of something like that, like a rooftop show for WWE Raw, Issa?
I love the idea. I thought that game had like sentimental meaning, right? I feel like a random Raw on a roof, like it's gonna feel very random. But I Raw could use all the creativity and difference that it can take right now. So why not at this point? But
the roof. Why not, the beach or the Mall of America or somewhere,
I think that's a good idea too.
No, why not a parking lot somewhere? Give all the audience flashlights to hold, and have like car lights lighting the ring and everything, like a rumble. I don't know. But what are they? The Beatles? Like, why on the roof? Why?
Because it's a roof. Why not?
You can throw somebody off of it.
Well, we did that with Money in the Bank, and I feel like, thinking back to all the cinematic matches in that era of the pandemic, I feel like Money in the Bank is the biggest miss of that could have been an all-time great match.
Yeah.
And they just didn't go far enough with it. They made too much comedy. Like, that could have been the coolest thing. I don't know. But Raw on the Roof, whatever.
I do think it's a good idea to add some sentimental value, but having said that, didn't Raw's entrance, like for those old Attitude Era Raws, those were on a roof, weren't they? With the helicopters flying around and the guys fighting on the roof. So if they do something to make it look like that, I think people would be into it.
Middle of Times Square. That would be cool.
Yeah, there you go.
Right by the tickets.
All you have to do is go to Times Square, and it looks like a Monday Night Raw every day.
It's true. And no ring. They're just bare knuckle street fighting.
Oh, just just literally on the roof, no ring or anything, no crowd.
No.
Come on, I don't know. Am I missing some significance here? Maybe I'm naive or uninformed, but why the roof? And the roof of where?
Yeah, no, that's just they want to do off-site events. So no, I guess the inspiration is the Field of Dreams. So I don't know how a roof connects to that exactly, but I guess it would just be the WWE equivalent to just going somewhere different. But I think Field of Dreams works so well because the visual does, like Issa said, give you that sentimental value. It's a very famous baseball movie. They even had Kevin Costner out there to do the opening ceremony. So if they could find something, and wrestling fans are very nostalgic. So if they could find something or some location, that
Raw had the opportunity. Yeah, I was going to say Raw had the opportunity to do that with that Manhattan Center show that they did for Raw 25, and they completely botched it.
Yeah. They need to find a beloved place that is sentimental. Maybe the alley where Piper had his fight and They Live. We could have a Raw from there. I think.
No, they should do it from the warehouse, and then like they keep finding like nostalgic things, as this like the Smackdown fist and all the casket that they use for Undertaker. Like that would actually be fun.
And the warehouse is haunted. I'm just putting that out there. I think that would add to the
boogeyman in there. Oh, that'd be great.
Yeah, I mean,
remind me. I gotta tell you something funny. I'll tell you later.
Oh, okay.
Oh, you can't tell on here?
No.
Okay. All right.
Be funny if they just like, if they do it at the Hardy compound and Jeff's like, I called in a favor. Maybe they ask Zack Ryder to use his pool like they did for that promo with Mandy and Otis. I don't know. Something. Mike D saying Piper versus Goldust, the backlot brawl.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. When you said the alley, that's what I thought. That's where my mind went.
I was thinking of They Live.
Okay, yeah.
One of the greatest science fiction thrillers ever made.
Really was. Very underrated.
Very underrated.
WWE Raw overachieved, actually, I believe, last night for their rating. They are up 3.74% to 1.857 million. So it's pretty good on the go-home show for SummerSlam. They did advertise Goldberg. They had Orton and Riddle all over the show. What did you guys think of Raw, starting with you? Did you see Raw last night, Glenn? It was a very long show.
No, I did not watch Monday Night Raw. And I feel the better for it.
Yeah, I don't think you missed much.
No, I was gonna say who stayed. Like if you look by the third hour, it dropped a little bit. So you can't really say that Goldberg was the draw, because nobody that started watching it stuck around to wait for Goldberg, right? I mean, good for them. I think the big shows always draw a little bit of curiosity, and they've been advertising the crap out of SummerSlam. But I mean, if that's what you're going to use to get people to watch SummerSlam, that was a horrible go-home show.
Hold on a second. I've solved this offside problem. Similar to the backlot brawl, and thank you, Chatham, for inspiring me. Raw live from Universal Studios, and we have a match like in Harry Potter world. We have one in the earthquake area. We have one in the Jaws water, and I want to see like Drew McIntyre punch out a shark.
No, with the sword.
Yes, with the sword and the shark.
He'll gut the shark.
Yeah. A match at the Psycho House, the King Kong encounter, like Universal Studios, Universal, Raw, book it. Vince, this is money. You'll make Universal exceptionally happy.
I mean, that'd be a great way to get to Drew McIntyre, Brock Lesnar, because Brock Lesnar famously F5'd the shark, and if Drew McIntyre can kill one with his sword, then maybe Brock Lesnar will feel like he's being upstaged.
I think we've solved it. Universal Studios and the Hollywood one, not the Florida one. I know the Florida one's easier, but the Hollywood one has better locations.
That's the OG location. Agreed. And then finally, some later news for NXT that I don't think is good news at all for them. According to Brian Alvarez of Wrestling Observer Live, he did note on Twitter that NXT is planning, beginning August 23rd, August 24th, they are going to tape shows where they're going to be taping 2 shows a week. And reportedly, the TV partners are not very happy about that. Tape shows tend to do less than live shows. I really don't think that mainstream audiences can tell the difference, but the worry there is that spoilers would get out and potentially people would know what would happen, and that's never good for the ratings. So a taped NXT show, and it's just another kind of hint of this show kind of being gutted, kind of being changed in a different direction. Do you think this is going to hurt NXT long-term, Issa, in terms of being taped?
I thought I read somewhere today that they will be going back to live in September, but I have to double check that. Don't quote me on it, right? It's just like reading. I don't think it's a long-term thing. I do think it will hurt the ratings, and they're already doing poorly. I think NXT is hard to get through when you already kind of know what's going to happen. But like you said, casual viewers can't really tell the difference, but they're not really drawing a lot of casual viewers right now. So, the few people that are watching are your hardcores, and if they find out what's going to happen on the show on Twitter, they're not going to tune in.
Well, here's the thing. One, given the situation in the world right now, they're not touring. So let's maximize the minutes, the manpower, the women power, and let's just knock these out. 2, it allows them more time to do vignettes and more elaborate storyline stuff. I mean, the wrestling is a small part of what makes NXT great. They can put more production value and plan out some longer term stories. And I think, this is probably a combination of that. I wanted to maximize some budget, not worry about the risk of Delta in case, because we're still hearing rumors WWE touring might be impacted by this. So I don't know. I think as a temporary thing for NXT, this actually doesn't scare me as much. I could see NXT or USA being less thrilled about this, but NXT was at its best when it was pre-taped.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think a lot of that was because it was an hour long, and I think that hour-long show that and also because they had to pre-tape it, especially a lot of episodes at a time, they had to kind of have their storylines in line that we're going to do this, and this, and they had it in a can, and they couldn't just kind of change directions like we've seen them do when it's live.
Although I'll tell you, man, I talked about being at that NXT taping at Access back in Dallas, and they taped like material for 10 episodes there. We saw the matches, the storylines when you saw them on TV were like entirely different.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah. Like I remember Enzo and Cass versus American Alpha. Like there was no pretext at all, but then they had this whole backstage thing about they were going to figure out who's the better team. Like, so when it aired, it actually made a ton of sense. Just watching it live, it was like, I'm just here to watch great wrestling.
Right.
You know? Mm-hmm. So I don't know. I think there's a lot they could do with that. I'm not too worried about it. It's, you know, talk to me in October and let's see where NXT is. Then we'll know.
Yeah, that'll be very interesting to see later on this fall how NXT falls into things.
Yeah, I don't know that tonight's going to pop a huge number. I felt like they really phoned it in tonight.
Me too.
Me too.
Which is a shame because you got a hot takeover coming up this weekend. You know, SummerSlam.
It should be a hot takeover. I think on paper, it's like they have the talent to be a hot takeover. But, you know, to your point, they did kind of phone it in, not only tonight, but I think the build to this could have been done so much better. And there are a couple of things out of their control. But I really think that when I looked at this on paper a few weeks ago, I was raving about how good this card's going to be. And I still think it's going to be good. But in terms of getting invested in these storylines, I think there were some missed opportunities.
And it's tough because this weekend, let me remind everyone, NXT is going last. Friday, we're going to have what could be the hottest night for wrestling in quite some time with AEW. And the 85 Bears are going to show up and the crowd's going to go wild. Love the 85 Bears in Chicago. They're going to get Fridge back and they're going to do the Super Bowl Shuffle in its entirety. We got SummerSlam on Saturday and then there's TakeOver on Sunday. Like, wrestling fans are going to be in a refractory period. Like,
yeah,
it's going to be very, very tough. I mean, I got to say this Index storyline I'm very invested in. I thought Hit Row and Legado del Fantasma. I thought that storyline is picking up steam. I mean, Dragunov versus Walter is going to be a great match. I mean, I get what they're doing, but it hasn't quite crested for me.
I don't get what they're doing.
I mean, I get what they're doing. These guys had a legendary match. Dragunov tonight, I mean, at the expense of Diamond Mine, Dragunov got his mojo back after his loss last week.
He lost last week. They killed the momentum on that match. I also feel like because of what Karrion Kross is doing on Raw, they killed the momentum on the Samoa Joe match, and that really upsets me, to be honest. Like, we should be more hyped for that, and we're not.
So yeah, I'm looking at this. Okay, so this is your refractory period for Sunday. Walter versus Dragunov, Kross versus Samoa Joe, Raquel Gonzalez versus Dakota Kai, LA Knight versus Cameron Grimes, and Kyle O'Reilly versus Adam Cole. I want to be excited.
Those that we've seen twice already.
Yeah.
This is a 3-time for Grimes and LA Knight and O'Reilly and Cole. Maybe that's why this is, to me, outside of Samoa Joe wrestling, I don't know that this is their strongest card that they put on.
Yeah. Now that I'm looking at this, like, okay, it's going to be great wrestling. I don't know. And these are like all championship matches. Well, except for Cole versus O'Reilly. These are all championship matches.
That's never the concern is the wrestling with NXT, but what they could have done in terms of, and I think it was right there. I think it's just kind of their own fault in terms of how they could have presented these. And it was very simple. You don't have your big killer lose, who's going to be headlining the show, and you don't have the guy who nobody's heard of in Dragunov. With all due respect to him, I mean, I watch NXT UK from here time to time, and I'm familiar with the history he has with Walter, but I don't think that they capitalized on the fact that they had this all-time match, and they really should have focused on these two guys are going to have this rematch for you on NXT TakeOver. But instead, I don't think they presented Dragunov as anything near a threat to Walter.
Yeah.
I'm looking at this for Sunday. I'm kind of regretting that I have to do the podcast on Sunday.
No, you're split up. You better not email us 5 minutes before the show.
I got packing to do for the move. I got things, you know. Like I said,
and then me and Alfred are gonna be like, our traveling got delayed, and then Ryan is gonna kill us all.
I'm just saying, times when I think I'd rather do the chores I've been putting off for months then I mean, it just doesn't seem essential. Like, okay, I know Volta versus Dragunov is going to be a great match. Cross versus Joe should be brutal, and I think it's like it's almost too much. There's almost going to be like too much. Like LA Knight versus Cameron Grimes is going to be the only entertainment, like pure entertainment, like joy entertainment match with like comedy. Everything else is just going to be two really tough people beating the shit out of each other.
Yeah.
And that actually sounds tedious to watch.
It's a good point.
For a sustained amount of time.
The 2 out of 3 falls match is going to be one of them, and it's going to be 3 falls of that.
So
that match is very quick. I want one of those falls is like 10 seconds, or they do something to where I don't want that match going any. I can take 15 minutes of Adam Cole and Kyle O'Reilly. That's it. That's all I have time for.
So this is really
it's gonna be like an hour.
Yeah, this is a 7-match card in essence.
Yeah,
3 of the matches are the same guy, same 2 guys, which is unfortunate. But maybe we'll see something with Index. Maybe bridal shower with Index.
Yeah, that'll be fun. With these NXT ratings kind of probably going to be up and down with the tape shows, I think a wedding is going to really help them. Wrestling weddings always do well ratings wise. I'm
surprised they're not trying to hotshot it for Sunday. Have them get married on the air.
Yeah.
Even tonight, that felt a little soon, right? They just had their first official date.
Yeah.
That might have been a reaction to that. If you believe the thing about the TV partners getting a little antsy about them being taped, that might have been the reaction. Like, okay, we're going to give you guys a wedding, though. It's going to be good.
Yeah, it went from first date to engagement, but it's Index. What else did you expect? This girl waited long enough. She's just trying to lock him in.
And it does kind of make sense because she's rebelling against her family, and they keep telling her how she shouldn't date this guy. And usually when when young women are rebelling and they meet a guy they like, the more you tell them not to date the guy, then they're going to get more involved and get married at a young age. So this really does make sense from that parenting aspect of it.
God, when I was a young man, that was my dream. My dream was to date a wealthy girl, and her parents disapproved of me, and I wanted them to write me a check to go away. I was like, this is a life goal that I have.
Wow.
It wouldn't have been like in Cocktail with Tom Cruise tearing up the check, put enough zeros on there and be like, I think I can I'll learn to love again.
Shoot for the stars. I like that goal.
Terry Allen Jr. 254 saying, one feature you 3 hope changes within WWE 2K22. I'll go first and say I hope it's a playable game.
Yeah, no glitches. I like the creator arena. It's a really good feature, the creator and arena. You can do all kinds of stuff with that.
I hope there's some kind of play mode where you can release people and give them 90, 60, or 30 days non-compete clause.
WWE GM, it's like every week you're under budget. You need to release these people.
Yep.
Actually, I'd like to see the cinematic matches make it the way to the game. I'd like to see the Boneyard match and Money in the Bank on Titan Tower. That would be pretty sweet.
They should have a counter programming mode where you choose what to put on when AEW's on Wednesday nights and Friday nights.
My God.
McIntyre, NyQuil, Brett Murphy, $2 saying the chat name is for you, Issa, LOL. Index equals gold. Index was the best thing tonight. Okay, so you know what was good tonight? That parking lot brawl tonight was pretty sweet. But we open with Roderick Strong versus Ilya Dragunov tonight. And this Diamond Mine thing. Issa, how do you think Diamond Mine's going?
I mean, the hoodies are solid. I think the hoodies they look sharp. Outside of that, this is a mess. This is bad. Ever since their debut, I'm telling you, this was just doomed from the beginning, and then they released half of the stable. It's just, I don't know. And you can reset it. You just started with it, but I'm not into it at all. The match was great. I thought that was a good match, and it was the right winner given the fact that this guy's gonna face Walter, but he lost last week, so it was just so now you want to make up for it, almost like they had Karrion Kross choke out Jeff Hardy 10 seconds on Raw. That's how he should have debuted. This is what they should have done with Dragunov last week, not this week.
Yeah, I don't know. It's like this hazing culture where it's like they've got to prove that, before you win in NXT, you got to do this. And the storyline should have taken precedent toward that. But now that he had lost and you've already seen that and you really don't believe that he can beat Walter, it's like, yeah, fine, you beat Roderick Strong. And also, it's weird because this is the second week in a row where an NXT opening match was supposed to be one thing, and then one of the people was medically unable to be cleared. And that happened with Ember Moon last week. It happened with Kushida this week. And so this was just like a thrown together match that I mean, even with the storyline, with all due respect to these guys, this isn't really much of. I don't think they would have the personalities to make something super entertaining outside of the wrestling. So now you got this random pairing of guys wrestling each other, and I couldn't care less.
Yeah, it looks cool when he was bleeding though. Crimson Mask was pretty dope tonight.
Yeah, he did. Dragunov is great. He looks like a legitimately tough guy. I like seeing him in there. I just wish they would get behind the guy, like when he's bleeding, and he does have a tough guy look to him, and he's very believable in there.
Well, and he was not wearing athleisure to the ring tonight. I think that's
no track pants.
Yes. Steve Marcucci, $1.99, first to get a WrestleMania main event match, Cross or Priest.
Well, I mean, maybe Priest. They're protecting Priest. I will say that of all the young up and comer, or the new people, they've done a good job. You know, aside that underwear loss that he took from the Miz, he did atone from that by beating the Miz in street clothes last night. So I would say by default, Damian Priest.
Yeah, especially if Bad Bunny wants to wrestle again.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
They already work together, but why wouldn't you put Bad Bunny in the main event? I think Priest has a better chance. Right, as of right now, we'll see.
That's a good point.
I was making the point over the weekend, watching the behind the music on Huey Lewis. And, Ricky Martin gets Bad Bunny and LL Cool J gets Eminem, and Huey Lewis gets Jimmy Kimmel.
Oh, really?
Just their talk up Huey. Man, I love Huey Lewis.
Didn't they have a Huey Lewis behind the music original, and then it's original format?
Yeah, so that's what these are. They go through and they like look back on the past ones, and then they add new stuff. Talk about, and he got in trouble in the original one because he talked about suing Ray Parker Jr. for Ghostbusters and selling out of court. And part of the settlement was he was not allowed to discuss it, but he did. Yeah. So Ray Parker got.
That's what they were. I thought they were completely new. I haven't seen any of them yet. I didn't. Okay.
Yeah, they're good. They're very entertaining. So Dragunov won, bloodied. Man, it's like think about the endurance Sunday of these matches. Just what do you think, aside from Grimes and LA Knight, what do you think the shortest match is Sunday night?
That's a good question. I'm gonna have to look at the card.
Dakota and Raquel.
Which is a shame.
Yeah, that's actually a good pick. Yeah, I think I would say that too.
But I'm going to say after that, Cross versus Joe is going to be the shortest.
Yeah, that could be much like Brock versus Goldberg at WrestleMania 33, I believe, where it was a great match.
5 minutes,
it was just like 5 minutes of just high octane, and I loved it. That's exactly
what made it great.
And Joe should be. Yeah, that's what it should be. Just like how they tore down that plexiglass, they should just tear down that entire arena.
Lengthy prime target preview for Kyle O'Reilly and Adam Cole. Why did they think this was worth? I mean, like, this was the second thing on the show, man. Like, I just tuned in, I just watched a match. Now it's just, could you imagine if you tuned in to like Better Call Saul one week, and then for 20 minutes of the episode, they're just like, here's a recap of everything that happened. Now enjoy your 40 minutes of new material. Like, people would lose their shit.
And I saw quite a few of the same clips that they've been using in previous packages. It's almost like they just clipped where it said NXT TakeOver Stand and Deliver, and then reinserted NXT TakeOver 36 because it's like, we've seen this.
We get it. They have history. We get it.
Yeah, but I like the jacket that Adam Cole was wearing on his backstage interview. I just have to add that. And Adam Cole can definitely cut a promo, but it just, every time that Kyle O'Reilly talks, man, I just can't get behind him. It's just like, you're going to get your ass. Like, it doesn't even matter who he's wrestling. As soon as he talks, I feel like, you're going to get your ass whooped. Like, it doesn't matter what he's saying or who he's going against. I don't know what it is about him that doesn't click with me, at least personally.
So last week, Swerve Scott had his grill stolen by Santos Escobar. Put his hand in Swerve's mouth, pulled his grill out. Hit Row looking like $1 million in the ring. And Escobar responds. He's in the parking lot. Man, like, I wish this match was Sunday night, but I almost would like to see them get a full parking lot brawl. Like, this was a really, really good the way they shot this fight.
Yeah, they even paid homage to the NWO when they lawn darted Rey Mysterio into that truck. They had that. I thought it was funny that Swerve Scott was interrupted just as he was going to explain to this NXT crowd what on-site
Yes, yes.
Because he said it and you could tell they were confused. He was like, "Oh, for those of you who don't know, on-site." And I was like, "Oh, he's going to actually explain to them what on-site is." And he didn't get to.
Alfred, do you want to fill people in for what on-site means?
Well, he was just saying that he's going to pull up, like the feud had gotten to the point where he wants to just, the next time I see you, I'm going to mess you up, to be TVPG. And that's what he's going to explain to the crowd, but he was not able to do that.
Yes.
He wanted to pull up on these gentlemen.
This was great.
He's going to pull up.
Yeah. This was fantastic.
I decided next time I want to fight someone, I'm going to challenge them at the NXT parking lot. That has to be the most dangerous place in all of Florida. Like, shit always goes down there. And in addition to that, I will say that I feel like that parking lot brawl saved this a little bit because it was getting a little bit comedic, right? Like with the whole grills thing and I get it, don't steal a man's grill, but it was just like these two teams are supposed to be so serious, and then this is what it felt very Drew McIntyre with the sword, right? When he pulled up in the screen with holding the grill, I'm like, no, please don't. But then the parking lot brawl saved it. And then after that, I got lost in a rabbit hole trying to figure out what happened to Paul Wall because I started singing grills in my head. And I
what did happen to Paul Wall? Let's inform the audience.
That was like one of my favorite eras of hip hop. Is Houston hip hop in 2005 to like 2007, where it was Paul Wall, Mike Jones, Slim Thug, Chameleonaire.
Oh my God! So like you don't know my name, yo. Yeah. Yes.
I love Houston hip hop to this day.
Paul Wall was even gonna song with Daddy Yankee. Like this guy was everywhere. You could not escape him. And
so
I'm like,
what is he up to now?
I just saw he was trending. It wasn't too long ago that him and like Mike Jones and all those Houston guys were trending on Twitter because somebody was like singing word for word the songs.
Yeah,
but
it was like something. I thought it was something that happened on TikTok, or they like you know how people have been reviving things on TikTok. So it was like some of their songs that were brought up again, which as they should be.
Paul Wall had like a grill company. I think he's still doing pretty well for himself. He made a lot of money selling grills.
Yeah, he had Drive Slow with Kanye. I love that song. Yeah.
I'm
telling you that's where my brain went at that time. I'm like, what happened to Paul Wall?
I'm looking at his Wikipedia page. He's still been working. So really, the fans, society, you failed Paul Wall. He didn't fail you. You turned your back on him. He didn't turn his back on the game.
He also did a song with
I'm gonna follow him on Instagram now just because I feel bad.
Too. Everybody follow Paul Wall on Instagram and Mike Jones.
Go follow Paul Wall. He has 1 million followers. He needs more.
And follow the entire cast at the band because we need to show them love and remind them.
DABAND. That was
Freddie P, man.
Chopper and Fred. Remember Fred? He sucked his thumb. He was like a grown man who sucked his thumb.
Fred's flow, Fred's flow has aged so well when you listen to those songs now. Like, he is by far, after Dylon, Freddie P is by far the most talented member of the band, followed by Babs.
Yeah, I love Fred. Well, Ness got busy. He's still Ness battle raps to this day. He's really good.
Yeah, Chopper, though.
Yeah, I mean, he's kind of the Southern type of, he was all right.
Could talk about this all night, but instead, let's talk about $1 Million champion LA Knight at the gym with his butler, Cameron Grimes. Ted DiBiase's there. Cameron Grimes is going against Josh Briggs tonight. Do you ever confuse people's names? Like, I can't tell you who Sean Colvin is versus Paula Cole. They're just the same person in my mind. I know one does the Dawson's Creek song and one has the Cowboys song or something, or maybe that's both one of them. I don't know. But every time I see Josh Briggs, I think the Yeti. No, that was Josh Burdell who won Tough Enough, not Josh Briggs.
Now I'm going to be confused now that you put that in my mind.
Yes, every time. Every time. I think the Yeti, he's still there? No. Different guy. He never recovered from that social jobbers comment. Cameron, so their LA Knight paid Josh Briggs $10,000 to beat Cameron Grimes. Ted DiBiase said it's double or nothing. Cameron Grimes won pretty easily. So now LA Knight owes Ted $20,000. And then after we got a little pep talk tonight. Ted really, giving Grimes a pep talk ahead of his match. Grimes is winning. I would like to see, because if Grimes loses, Ted has to be LA Knight's speller. I'd kind of like to see Grimes screw over Ted DiBiase by losing on purpose, and then he teams up with LA Knight as a tag team, and they just make like Ted their lackey. Probably won't happen.
Yeah, I don't think that'd be happy.
Wow, Glenn, you evil?
Yeah.
That would be a great story.
No, he can't even remember his promos. You really think he's gonna be able to call like segments like that? No.
Yeah. Plus, that's a good point. And this would be a feel-good moment. Like, I think the people want to see Cameron Grimes finally get that belt, and they just get off the beaten path. I think if they did become a team, it should be as a babyface. And what's weird is that is the stipulation that now LA Knight does not have to become Cameron Grimes' butler if he loses, does he? That's not part of
No, it's the title.
See, I think they should have done that to where then LA Knight has to humble himself, and then eventually he'll just become like a sympathetic figure, and they could become a tag team that way. But I really do want to see these two as a tag team, because that month of vignettes that they did together, they have very good chemistry together.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm excited to see Cameron Grimes finally get his moment, his feel-good moment. Like Alfred said, I feel like we've been waiting for so long. I didn't need to see a third version of this match, but if I'm gonna see it, hopefully it's with that big moment at the end. I'm excited for it. Yeah. I thought the pep talk was cute, and we finally heard him say "to the moon" again, which he felt like it's been forever since he said that.
Yeah.
So backstage we had Indy Hartwell talking to Johnny Gargano and Candice LeRae about her date with Dexter, and there was entendre.
Yes, it was.
For those thinking this is leading to a mixed tag feud between Index and LeRae and Gargano, that is not happening anymore.
No.
Yeah, I guess that was announced, like last Thursday, Wednesday? It was right after we did the podcast. They're expecting.
Yeah. Yeah, they have a baby on the way. No pun intended.
Well, there you go. So we ended up having Jesse Kamea and Robert Stone versus Dexter Lumis and Indy Hartwell tonight. And Indy and Dexter, of course, won. This was a very fun match. But the headline was after the kisses. Yeah, like he had a ring. She proposed. He said yes. But Alfred, you first. What'd you think about this match?
I thought this was a lot of fun. It's funny because we were talking about Beth Phoenix last week and how she was just kind of missing from the storyline, and they just got right back in the center of the storyline. And she was the one who gave Indy that like eyeball ring, and Indy now is like solemn, just like Dexter. So they both kind of act that same weird way. And I think this is fun. I thought this was very zany. I thought Robert Stone was very funny in this match. He did have
yes.
laughing just between that. He's very good at comedy. Between that tracksuit that he had, and he was like kind of dressed like an MMA fighter, and how he was running away. And I just kind of thought of that for the first time when she was Taya Valkyrie. She's now Frankie Monet, but when she was Taya Valkyrie, she was kind of doing the same type of gimmick with the guy Johnny Bravo in Impact. And it was very funny. And I think Robert Stone is actually a better version of Johnny Bravo, and I think they're doing a good job with that. Now I would like to see her do better things, but she's very good at this kind of comedy where she's with this comedic figure. But I thought it was very funny.
Yeah, I want to go back to the beginning just real quick because I have to say I laughed so hard when Indy was telling Johnny and Candace what her and Dexter have been up to, and they were like, "No, that's stupid, and then she said he took me in a hot air balloon, and Johnny was like, "Okay, that's pretty cool."
Oh, that's cool, yeah.
That is literally it felt very parent, conversation. I really am liking it. I don't know, Johnny Gargano is just hilarious. Every time I feel like I don't want to like him anymore, he'll pull out a line like that you can't help but to laugh. Yeah, I'm with you in the Frankie Monet. Love her. I think she's great, but I would like to see her just doing so much more than this. But the match was a lot of fun. I love seeing Beth Phoenix being the one giving Indy the ring and the pep talk and the go do it. And then I don't know if you guys heard, but I think somebody said in commentary was like, "But they just had their first date," and she was like, "Lock it up." Like she was defending love. It was awesome. I love a good wrestling wedding. I'm not gonna lie. I'm excited for this.
But let me just state this: Frankie Monet should not be this upstaged and overshadowed in anything. Yeah. She was
like a manager on this, not even on the opposing losing team, which I'm glad she didn't have to take a loss or anything, but she was just literally in the background, and then she was thrown out of the ring.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Worried about this. Maybe she's on her way to the main roster. Probably not. But maybe. Like I know.
Well, they could use her. They could use her desperately.
Yeah.
Should be good. King Rail, $5, saying, "Good evening. Are you guys meeting up in Vegas this weekend? If so, shots on me. Also, Ness and Ciampa are the top two." of the
That's
band.
the magic words, King Rail,
Yes.
right there, right out.
No, you know that. I think Dylon is a top 5.
No, Dylon is a top 5.
Sketch. Dylon. Those are the top 5.
there.
Dylon was actually pretty talented. I liked him.
He was. And I guess he's kind of gotten his shit together since then. He's kind of humbled himself.
Oh, really? I haven't heard or seen. I don't know.
He had that photo with Chappelle from just like a year or two ago.
Oh, I did see that.
Yeah. He's ripe for a comeback. I just watched that Chappelle Show sketch probably every 3 or 4 months. I just watched.
Yeah, that's a great one. That
So
and The Mad Real World is one of my favorites.
Yes. But are you guys meeting up with the fans in Vegas?
Oh, well, I don't know with the fans, but we should meet up. We should, at least for a podcast or something like that.
Yeah.
Friday Night SmackDown.
Friday Night SmackDown and Rampage.
Yeah.
Rampage too for CM Punk. Oh, that'll be great.
CM Punk or Braun Strowman. You never know who's gonna show up.
Oh yeah.
So I guess then they're dodging the subject. So if you see Alfred and Issa walking around, just shout out Wrestling Inc.
Yeah. Shout out the brand, everybody.
Yes. I had my experience at WWE Evolution where I said to my wife, I was kind of like, just so we're here, we're doing this, but if anybody recognizes me, I'm just going to take a moment and talk and whatnot there. And she was like, who's going to recognize you? What's going to happen? Second we got in there, somebody pulled me aside, wanted a photo with me, talked about how much they love the podcast.
That's great.
So, our fans are the best.
That's good. Shout out to you guys. They are.
Absolutely. So they're engaged. Index.
Yeah.
Where do they go from here?
They get married.
That's the plan. Well, obviously it's not going to work. What's going to screw this wedding up? I'm trying to think of what are they. I mean, you know what? I think Austin Theory comes back somehow and he screws it up.
No, Poppy. Remember how she got jealous of that
there you go.
pop artist? Ooh.
You can see that.
I think
Dexter
needs to move in with Indy and live under the roof of Gargano and Candice. And then we need some classic sitcom plots like the Brady Brides. Like maybe they divide the house in half, put tape down the middle. They're like, this side is yours, this side's mine.
Can we just make it somehow to where Candice LeRae water breaks? She's alone with Dexter and he doesn't know what to do and he just stares at her as she's going into labor.
Oh, he should deliver the baby.
He delivers the baby.
He delivers the baby.
And that's how he wins them over.
I don't know if I want to do that.
This is long-term storytelling. We can get like a year and a half out of this.
They missed a golden opportunity. She should have put the ring on his hand while he sat the glove on. That would have been way funnier.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be good. Garrus Plowman asking my favorite match for Evolution, Becky versus Charlotte. I mean, the Battle Royal was great, but Becky versus Charlotte, easily, it
was really good. Excellent.
One of the best matches I've ever seen live.
Should have main evented.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's right, it didn't. I always think it did in my mind, but it didn't. It was the Nikki Bella and Ronda Rousey did.
Becky wasn't. Why those two main evented too? Because if you walked around Evolution, and Glenn can probably back me up on this, the Bella merchandise
everywhere,
was incredible. Yeah. I was like, and they were having meetups, her group of fans. You will see a bunch of them in every corner. So I get it. Match quality wise, Becky and Charlotte killed it that night.
Yeah, but remember, this was before. This was before Becky had the invasion moment with Raw, and this was I think right before the
month before. Yeah. It was October, and then it was in November when that happened. But she was in the process of becoming, the man.
The Becky train was on its way.
I was sitting behind a row of Bella's cosplayers, basically.
Oh wow!
With just fully decked out and all the merch. It was insane.
Yeah, there was a lot of Bella fans there. A lot.
Lots. So we got a remote interview Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez to discuss their NXT TakeOver 36 match for the NXT Women's Championship. How are you feeling about the feud? He says it feels kind of abbreviated.
It feels rushed. Yeah. And we went from the attack to a video package and then a little bit of an attack and then this. I don't know, because I really would like to see Dakota Kai as NXT Women's Champion, and I don't know what else is left for Raquel to do. But at the same time, I feel like to really solidify Raquel, she needs to get this win. So I'm very 50-50. I just feel like it feels very rushed. Like it went from 0 to we're going to fight for the title in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, again, I don't think it was. I think that this was planned appropriately. I don't like how they've done it the past couple of weeks, especially tonight. I didn't like that this segment came off as like they did it in two separate recordings and then they played them together and tried to sync
That's
them
what
up.
it was, because
You
it
know what I
felt
mean?
off.
Yeah, it did not feel like they were interacting with one another. Something was very off about this. I did like that Raquel brought up the fact that she turned on Tegan Knox, because I did forget about that, but that's very good NXT canon that she turns on her best friend.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think this has been a very good storyline in terms of them kind of planting the seeds for them to turn. But I don't think this go home in terms of these last couple of weeks. They should have done more in the ring or out in front of the crowd before they really got you excited for this match.
I mean, honestly, it doesn't even feel like these shows are open to the public. Like, does the energy level feel that much higher than it was when it was just Performance Center?
No, it's still the last thing I watch and still feel like I'm in the pandemic era when I'm watching wrestling.
Right.
There's nothing else.
Right.
Everything else, it just seems higher, even Raw.
Yes, it feels completely different than when you're watching AEW or SmackDown or Raw. There's just something off about NXT altogether. At the same time, like going back to the build-up to this match, I think it's the one that I'm the most intrigued about going into TakeOver, because the other ones have a little bit of a, like we mentioned at the beginning, momentum was killed, or we've seen it so many times where I feel like Raquel and Dakota is the fresh match going into this.
Yeah.
You know, and of course Samoa Joe and Karrion Kross, but you know how I feel because of Karrion Kross booking, nothing that to their fault. I think they killed that tonight, but
well, Carmelo Hayes defeated Duke Hudson, and we're gonna have Carmelo versus Odyssey Jones next week. See, I wish this was on TakeOver even. Like,
yeah, I'm surprised it's not. Is it not? This is it should be. They've timed.
I thought it was gonna be in TakeOver.
I thought they said next week.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, I could see that, but
it's not on Wikipedia, so somebody update that.
I just want to point out that I called Carmelo Hayes winning last week to you guys.
Oh yeah,
you absolutely did. I was very surprised, pleasantly surprised. I thought it was going to be the two giants, and for all the talk about these big guys overrunning NXT, we saw Cameron Grimes beat a big guy. We saw Carmelo Hayes be a big guy, and I'm very excited for Odyssey Jones versus Carmelo Hayes.
But you gotta remember, it's the height, but also the age. So if they're 6 feet tall but over 30, then does that mean they don't go over? You know what I mean? Like we have to.
Right. I'm just talking about. I mean, a lot of fans. I saw a lot of paranoia. Oh, I know what you mean.
It took you a second.
My connection's on delay. My brain.
I liked Carmelo Hayes' promo after about that he's the final boss. But then you look at Odyssey Jones and it's like, no, Odyssey Jones is the final boss.
Yeah, he walks out. It's like, no. Has anybody taken advantage of that nickname? That's a good name, the final boss for a wrestling name.
I feel like somebody was
final
using
boss developmental school. Neither one of them is the final boss.
Didn't somebody on AEW, somebody used something like that recently? Maybe the chat.
I want to say they might have. Was it?
I swear I've heard that recently. Somebody make that same comparison.
Yeah, I did. I feel like I heard it too.
I hear it. I know I heard it too. I can't remember where, but I know that I heard somebody say that.
Yeah, but good for them. This is gonna be a great match. Looking forward to it. And then we got a vignette from JC Jane.
Yeah, so she's with Gigi Dolan, but we didn't see Gigi Dolan in that. It's just her.
We saw Gigi last week. I think her was by herself, so they're just doing it like individually, I guess, to just build momentum.
I'm gonna look at something quickly. Did Gigi and she was dating Darby? Did they break up or are they still together?
I heard they broke up.
So well, it's funny because
that's what the street said.
It's funny because of their names of Darby Allin. Gigi Dolan, Gigi Allen is where Darby got Darby Allin from. So that's just light bulb moment on that one. Maybe they're both fans.
Yeah, I can see that. I can absolutely see them.
Is anyone actually a fan of Gigi Allen's music, though? I think people think the idea, like, oh, that dude was real, like the Andy Kaufman of punk rock. Like he really just lived it and pushed it. I don't think anyone ever just says, I want to listen to some Gigi Allen right now.
Yeah, maybe. I've known people who are fans or, like you said that they were and very much supported Gigi Allen.
Well, again, the idea more than the music.
Right, exactly. The cult of personality.
Yeah, you have a band like Fear, and people are like, hey, Beef Bologna's a jam. I can go to listen to that, anytime. But I think there's some stuff people just want, it makes them seem cool, like they're not really into it.
Yeah,
They just say
I
they
see what
are.
you mean.
I'm
Like
just telling you,
Arcade Fire.
90% of Sonic Youth's record sales are for people that want that album on their shelf, so people think they have taste.
Yeah,
That's an excellent take. Because you're
Yes.
right.
Alejandro Villarreal, $5, saying the matches I'm looking forward to are Dragunov versus Walter and Kyle versus Adam Cole. The rest seems good, but not compared to the past NXT takeovers.
I agree.
Agreed.
I'm sure this is going to be a good show, the actual show, but I'm not as excited about it. And, I really don't think it'll live up to what the other ones have been.
And it's not the warm-up. Normally, takeover is the foreplay.
Yeah. And it's in the same arena as SummerSlam, and it's got this electric feel to it. And there's this feeling like that the main pay-per-view is competing with NXT because it was so good. And this is the complete opposite.
Yes. It's like we're having dessert first and salad for our finishing course. I don't know, man. I don't know. So NXT tag team title match, Imperium versus MSK.
This was good.
Very
This was a really good match.
I miss MSK. They haven't really been on TV that much.
No, they haven't, and they should be featured every week. They are so freaking good.
My wife let it be known that she had confused in her head. She said, I thought MSK was that Korean boy band. I was like, no, hon, that's BTS. Oh, I thought it stood for the music of South Korea. And I was like, that would make sense.
For a second, I thought she got him confused with B2K. And I was like, B2K was not Korean.
B2K and BTS need to be like an NKOTB SB.
Yeah, why not?
Oh my God.
I'm telling you, they're like printing money. What's up with B2K? Bump 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 was a jam. They had the best track on the High School Musical soundtrack with their version to Get Your Head in the Game. Oh,
there you go. They left a lot of money on the table. I think they just had a lot of problems where they broke up, but they broke up way before they should have.
I agree. No, this was a really good match. MSK retains. And then we had Dragunov come out, get into it with Walter. I mean, this was chaotic. They're really building this match. But yeah, Walter and the athleisure, man. Just can't take it.
I thought so. They had Dragunov win earlier in the night, and it's like whatever, like that was gonna really do anything. But at least he won. And then I think they just did even more damage to him because this poor guy attacked the babyface, attacks Walter from behind, gets murked, gets back up, tries again, gets murked again. And it's like if you were not familiar with this man, which a lot of people were not, and you're watching this, like this is the guy who's supposed to face Walter. Like I don't know about this.
Maybe that's why they put him in the athleisure. To make him look less intimidating. I'm sorry, Issa, your point.
Maybe. No, I was just going to say, I don't understand why anybody with a brain would just attack Walter from behind. Like, it just seems you just look dumb, like, pulling that off. Like, I get it, you want to wrestle him, but be smarter than that. Plan an attack, have some backup. Like, this is Walter we're talking about here, you know? But, hey, maybe the kid got some guts.
Maybe it was one of those things like where he shouted out like MSK, you've got my back, and they were like, "Oh, what? We don't know you."
No, bro,
that's a good point.
You got this king.
Maybe he thought it was like a dazed and confused party situation. Like these things never go past the first punch; it gets broken up. I don't know. It'll be a good match. This was a good tag match, though. Good for MSK. But Walter, man, he's a star. I think with the rest of Imperium, like they did fine. It was fine.
Yeah. It was good. I was just very deflating for Dragunov. And this is all they had to do was just kind of talk up how great of a match they had last time, and then get you excited for it that way. And if you're gonna have Dragunov wrestle, maybe have him win a match or whatnot. But I think they overthought this feud.
Yeah. Do you think this was one of those where they really thought? Like they just really overestimated sort of the demand based on the response to that last match that they had like a year and a half ago, where they were just like, this is going to be really big. People are really going to be invested in this.
I mean, I don't know if there's any way to know based on how they booked this. They didn't really book this with that story in line or in mind. They did have that exchange between Walter and Dragunov when they had that kind of back and forth pre-tape that I thought was pretty good.
Oh, yeah.
But maybe they did overthink how much it would be. But I don't think that's the problem with the feud. I think the problem is just that they did not do right by Dragunov. I think they should have had him look like a really strong, stellar competitor to Walter.
Mm-hmm.
King Rail, $5, saying, with all the BS going around in NXT, think we possibly get a Nexus type debut in the future to kind of purge the roster and see who's actually a star?
I mean, who would be in that stable? The breakout guys? I don't know. There's some potential, maybe. Who knows? But
it's very hard to try to put together a stable right now with the state of things and a draft coming up, and we don't know who's going where. I mean, I think it would be fun if booked the right way, but who do you put in the stable is the most important part.
Yeah. That's why it was great when they did the 3-brand Survivor Series. I think that's my favorite Survivor Series
in recent years. Yeah.
Yeah.
When
so
NXT
good.
won too.
Yeah, NXT won.
Mm-hmm.
Man, like I think that's the whole thing. I think Vince bought into it. Vince believed it, and that's why Vince is pissed.
Yeah, that was at the beginning of the Wednesday Night Wars where they really needed to put the battery in NXT's back. So they went all out. They had them win on Survivor Series. They would have top stars from WWE show up there. And then slowly but surely, they just kind of pulled away from it.
Okay. But you guys know that I've shared with you guys how much I love a good conspiracy, right?
Yes.
What if NXT was booked that way at Survivor Series as a thank you for bailing them out because NXT had to do the whole invasion angle that Friday Night Smackdown because everybody was stuck in Saudi Arabia, remember?
Oh.
So they had to bring the NXT people and invade Smackdown. Maybe they booked them to win that way just to thank them for it, kind of like bailing Vince out while he was, being held hostage in Saudi Arabia.
Does anyone kept a running tally of times people have cashed in, Vince saying, "I owe you one, pal"? Like, of how many people have actually collected on that? Because I feel like Vince probably owes a lot of people for how much we hear that's his go-to phrase.
Yeah. I mean, if you see a lot of these shoot interviews, a lot of people say that, well, Vince said that he owed me one and still hasn't cashed that check.
Yeah.
We're going to have to start adding that to our interviews. Like, every time anybody gets an interview with a wrestler, ask, has Vince ever told you that he owes you one? And then we can just compare numbers.
Yes. Did we answer this about Becky or Brock at Survivor Series? This might have slipped through.
No, we didn't.
I think it's SummerSlam.
Oh, SummerSlam. Sorry.
I don't expect to see either of them.
Yes. Sorry, wrestling enthusiast.
You don't think they bring a Becky out to have a stare down with whoever wins whatever brand she's going to title?
Oh, maybe.
I think that would be more for Raw.
No.
And I think, okay, if there is going to be a reaction to CM Punk, Brock Lesnar could be that reaction. They could bring out Brock Lesnar for whatever they need him to do. Maybe he comes out and faces off with Lashley.
That's what I'm saying. You have to bring somebody big. If you're trying to overtake the whole, like, okay, let's forget about CM Punk, you have to bring a Becky or a Brock to SummerSlam and then to Raw, and then people kind of like, to weigh out everybody talking about CM Punk thing.
Well, and they were still hyping it tonight with TV commercials, but have we heard anything about what's going on with Bianca and Sasha?
No, I mean, they've still missed quite a few shows, and I don't know if it's a guarantee that they're going to be at SummerSlam. So
they advertised it throughout Raw last night. They played that video package for the match at least twice.
They advertise a lot of things that
yeah, I know. Listen, I'm just saying they advertised it, but we don't know why they were pulled off, from the live show. So I don't know.
Right.
If they're not gonna have that match, they need to announce it. So, like, for real, like, that's one of the matches people are the most excited about. Don't do the last minute. Oh, this match is not gonna happen. Just like give us the pain now. Let us deal with it.
Yeah, we're 4 days away.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm just gonna say this, if one of the talents is having an issue, I could see Becky showing up Friday night on SmackDown. If the other talent can compete,
sure,
I could see Becky showing up Friday.
That's a good point. That's a great point. To where they just kind of accelerate that,
because that would get. I mean, and they're stepping on AEW's dick a little bit with that in the CM Punk.
I see, right on the dick,
right on it.
Oh, that's actually a good point. You see, the word on the street is about the reaction to CM Punk. Why don't they just get ahead of it? Where the last thing you see on SmackDown is that's when you bring back Brock Lesnar is on SmackDown right before CM Punk is supposed to be out there to kind of rain on the parade. I like that, Glenn.
Yeah.
I'm the biggest Brock Lesnar mark in the world, and I will still say that it doesn't compare just because Brock has been present. Maybe not since like last SummerSlam, but I mean WrestleMania 2 years ago, but he doesn't feel like a big return. Same with, I mean, I don't know. I would do it at SummerSlam.
Yeah, but more people, just hear me out on this. Peacock you can watch it with a subscription. Friday is going to pop. If they do that Friday on SmackDown, that will pop a bigger number Saturday rather than Saturday. People look at social media. It's like, what? Brock's back. Becky's back. You do that Friday and then you change the conversation going into SummerSlam weekend. Mark my words. If it happens, that's when they do it.
Wow.
Yeah,
And
that's
Vince
a good point. I like it.
A petty person.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. They did something crazy on Friday to try to distract. I don't think there's any distracting from.
I would laugh so hard. I cannot wait to talk about it then.
Yeah, that'd be great.
And the final segment tonight. We did have a vignette from Pete Dunne and Ridge Holland. I mean, does either of you have any excitement for this? This was like too much tonight. This was too much.
Too much filler. It felt very, we're just winging it.
Yeah, but Samoa Joe and Karrion Kross face off
finally tonight
and getting into it, breaking the barricade. That was cool.
I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what kind of reminded me of that Brock Lesnar and Goldberg match, is that they're just like a rampage type, to borrow a phrase, the tearing everything down.
Yeah. It's gonna. I just want to see Joe wrestle again. I think it's so amazing that we're gonna get to see him wrestle, especially because he never really opened up about what was wrong with him or what was going on, what took so long to get him cleared. So, just the fact that we're in the dark about that, knowing that he's coming back, is awesome. I can't wait to see him wrestle, and he looked mad tonight. I missed that Samoa Joe.
He looked good. I could see him winning on Sunday.
Yeah, I hope he wins. I'm rooting for him.
Yeah. I could definitely see it, especially if Karrion Kross is going to be on Raw every week. I mean, if he's going to be on Raw every week, he probably shouldn't be NXT champion. And then also, if they're going to be beating him here and there intermittently, he definitely shouldn't be NXT champion to kind of go over there and be the champion who loses there. It really hurts the brand. So if you have Samoa Joe sitting there as NXT champion, especially because Samoa Joe has these feuds set up, whether it's Adam Cole if he decides to stick around, and Pete Dunne and all this, it looks like Samoa Joe should be the favorite in this match, which is crazy to say.
It's sad because maybe a month or two ago, I would have told you that Karrion Kross should have defeated Samoa Joe and gone on to the main roster undefeated and book him like a monster. Like, I know that we try to say one loss is not going to hurt anyone, but that really, what they did to Karrion Kross in the main roster really, really completely killed this match at TakeOver for me.
Well, and if Samoa Joe wins, I mean, Samoa Joe versus Pete Dunne, Samoa Joe versus Adam Cole. I could see Adam Cole wanting to do that before he leaves NXT.
That's the most interesting part of this Adam Cole match, is it has shades of Bret Hart versus Shawn Michaels in '97, where it's like, okay, so Bret's going to leave, but is he going to lose? What's going to happen? Like, how are they going to play this Adam Cole thing? Like, this, I think, is going to tell us a lot, or at least a little bit, about what decision that he's made. So, because if he loses, I mean, that might indicate that they haven't so much signed him yet, or they don't know what he's doing still. But if he wins, that would be very interesting if he won, I think.
What does Kyle O'Reilly do after this?
I think the winner has to challenge...
Grow a pair.
And then lose in like 5 minutes. You said grow a pair?
Yes.
Disrespect on Adam Cole, Kyle O'Reilly. No, I get it. I think whoever wins this loses to either Samoa Joe or Karrion Kross in the next takeover.
Kyle O'Reilly lost me the second that he says, "For the first fall, I pick a regular wrestling match." I was like, please.
Yeah, they didn't do him any favors in that segment.
No. So excited for TakeOver, you guys.
Could you imagine that? That's like, like gonna take you out anywhere you want to eat for your birthday, anywhere you want to go to dinner, anywhere, and they're just like,
whatever you want.
It's like, why don't we just stay home and have a nice quiet meal? That
would be even worse if you say like McDonald's.
Yeah. Oh, man. But these this was good. This was a good face off at the end.
Yeah.
Want to see Joe win. I'm over Karrion Kross.
And Scarlett's not coming out with him, even in NXT now.
Yeah, they were chanting, "We want Scarlett," and I don't know what's happening with Scarlett.
The mystique is gone. We should never have seen him in a t-shirt.
Yeah,
that's part of
like
it too.
Just a normal guy tonight. He just had that T-shirt, and they've been doing this with him. They just methodically, systematically killed this character.
I get people wearing their own merch, but there's some wrestlers that should not be seen in a T-shirt.
Right.
Walter's one of them. Karrion Kross is another.
Yeah, I agree. He should have just been in his gear the whole time, and they had something with this guy.
Or suit. He looks great in a suit.
He looks fine in a suit.
You know?
But no, even in the suit, I don't want him looking like a human. I want him looking like a guy who's just some gladiator, some almost. That's the thing about Scarlett being with him is that's his handler. He's almost like feral, where it's like you don't trust this guy.
He's on a leash. He's oiled up.
Yeah.
Coming in, he's got like a bone in his mouth.
He's got a dog bowl that he carries around.
Oh man.
But not a T-shirt.
No,
but you're right. Presentation is everything, and I don't know. I think he has a personality issue. Like I don't know if he's a warrior, a badass, a T-shirt guy, an MMA guy. I don't know. He's a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
King Real $5 saying if WWE wants the light, you have Cena about to win. Big E cashes in, then Cena kicks the crap out of Big E. Cena goes heel, puts over Big E big time.
Good luck with that.
That's not gonna happen. Big E's gonna cash in on the Goldberg Lashley match. Add himself onto the match, make it a triple threat, and he's gonna pin Goldberg. That way you protect Bobby Lashley and Big E walks out champion.
Really? Huh.
Yeah.
That'd be interesting. You don't think he's cashing in on Roman?
Huh?
You don't think he's cashing in on Roman?
He's not stupid.
I don't know. I think he's doing it.
He doesn't even have his briefcase. Baron Corbin is Mr. Money in the Bank, as far as we know.
That makes me nervous. Sooner Big E can get that if they go 2-3 weeks with Baron Corbin in that briefcase, I will not be convinced that he's giving it back. I'm a little bit nervous.
I know, me too. As soon as he took it on Friday, I was like, please don't do this.
It is bad. It is bad. So, Sunday night, NXT TakeOver 36. The three of us will be here. You two will be in Vegas, most likely.
Yeah.
Very exciting.
SummerSlam. Yeah, at SummerSlam, too. That'll be a fun show.
We are not responsible. Warning, we are not responsible for the words that come out of our mouth on the next two podcasts. We might be intoxicated.
So Friday night, Smackdown, Saturday night, SummerSlam coverage. But you guys are going to be at SummerSlam.
Yeah.
So I'm going to be doing this with Raj and somebody else.
I think it's Chuck.
Yeah, I haven't seen either of them in a while, so that'll be exciting. Tomorrow night, AEW Dynamite coverage here on the Wrestling Inc. podcast. But yeah, Friday, big night in wrestling.
Yeah,
Brock Lesnar coming back.
It could be the best night or the worst night. We could see the biggest riot in Chicago history. I'm scared. I'm scared.
Like, you have to admit, in some weird way, like, kind of curious to see how that goes. Like,
in a weird way, I don't want him to debut just to see how that goes.
Yeah, like, I just kind of want to see how that works.
That was, oh my goodness, like the footage, because then if they went off the air, I would just go on Twitter to get like the surveillance footage of Chicago burning to the ground.
Somebody has to be live. Like, I'm going to be searching for the live somewhere. Like, no.
There will be national news coverage.
Yeah, or it'll be like,
don't fear not. If AEW goes out the air without CM Punk, then tune into your local news, because they will be covering this on national television of Chicago having a wide-scale riot in the United States.
It'll be like the end of Woodstock 99 and Guns N' Roses in Canada.
Yes.
Combined.
Yeah.
Combined. Exactly. Now, do you guys think that he has to open the show? Because is the crowd even gonna... No, you're gonna have the crowd chant CM Punk until he finally comes out?
I think you milk that to the end, and then you have the final segment with Darby Allin coming out to see who's the best in the world or whatnot. I think that's a great way to go off the air.
Luckily, it's an hour show, so it's not a long wait for anybody. Yeah.
And if he comes out first, then it's like CM Punk's trending the whole show. Everybody's spending the whole night talking about CM Punk, and they're not necessarily paying attention, I don't think, in terms of the people on Twitter. And I think it's better to build to a situation like that.
You rented the arena for him. Give him the whole hour.
Yeah. Oh, sure. Yeah.
There you go. So, Alfred is at This Is Nasty. Issa is at NYC Diva Diva. That's Diva with a 1 instead of an I. I'm at Glenn Rubenstein. Give us all a follow on Twitter. Subscribe on YouTube. Leave a rating on iTunes. Bring a sign to Friday night AEW or SummerSlam or TakeOver. I just want one Wrestling Inc. sign. Doesn't even have to be with me. I did suggest something that says "Stay on topic, Glenn," but it could be about any of us.
That'd be great.
Could say like Raj Giri super chat money. You know, Raj, I spent my super chat money on this ticket. There you go.
There you go. Yeah, these are good suggestions.
Make it happen, folks. Don't
Vince
disappoint
fears
me.
Glenn.
What's that?
Vince fears Glenn.
There you go. When I moved to Vegas, I have got so much random wrestling crap. I've got all these WWE slam crates with stuff that I just set aside. I've got wrestling tees that I'm never going to wear. I'm going to start doing some giveaways once I'm in Vegas.
Yeah, I'll take it. What kind of tees do you have?
I mean, like, I got a Social Outcast tee.
Oh, that's awesome.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
just random stuff that I've picked up, and that like some of it I want, but a lot of it I'm just never gonna. I'd rather give it to a deserving home, someone that's gonna enjoy it. So we'll start doing some contests once I'm in Vegas. So I'll basically start mailing out my crap to people, you know, and just here you go, you know, enjoy this King of Bad News tee that I have. Enjoy this perfection tee that I have. Enjoy, I got a lot of stuff, a lot of wrestling stuff. Okay, I've got a New Day foam finger that's with the unicorn.
Oh, I'll take that. Give me that.
Okay, I will set that aside.
I have a horn. I have the unicorn horn in here somewhere.
I used to have one, but I lost it. I don't know what happened to it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yes, Garris Plowman, can someone please have a sign that says NWO Raj?
Yeah.
Yes. This is what I have. The New Day
sign on TV. I'm telling you. Oh, that's awesome.
Oh wow.
Slam Crate wasn't messing around. Did they even make Slam Crate? That was a great sponsor.
They're still making them.
Are they still making them?
No.
What is in them? Oh, the best thing I got from it is a replica. It's not a replica WWE belt. It's a fanny pack that looks like a WWE Championship belt, but I like it because it's flat. It's like a flat fanny pack.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, it's very good for traveling. Very convenient to have. But then people look at, like, I'd wear it inside out because I don't want someone to look at me like this dude is wearing a WWE Championship, like a fanny pack that looks like a WWE Championship belt. Like, I don't want to be that guy.
But if you're wearing a fanny pack, you might as well just go all the way and show them the WWE.
Yeah, just commit. Just commit.
Yeah.
They're very convenient. Get that in some cargo shorts. I own a lot of Scotty vest jackets and shirts with all the hidden pockets and everything. So when I travel, like, I don't need luggage. I can just put everything in my clothing. Wow. Yeah, it's good times.
Do you ever get stopped? People thinking you're smuggling something?
No, but that would be fun. Okay, everyone, have a good rest of your evening. We'll catch you back here next time on the Wrestling Inc. podcast.